Heaven timed this encounter before either of you understood what was happening. Before they ever saw your face, before you ever heard their name, there was a meeting in the unseen, a council, a decree, and what heaven settled that night was not a suggestion, it was a verdict. And right now, in this moment, as your spirit receives these words, something ancient is being reactivated, a promise, buried under years of waiting, a name that was whispered in hallways you have never seen, a face heaven has been shaping in a season you did not even know was preparation theirs and yours. You did not find this video by accident, and neither did they. Somewhere, maybe a city you have never been to, maybe a room down the street, maybe a pew in a church you have not visited, yet there is a person younger than you, not by accident, younger. Heaven selected younger. A heart being prepared by the same God who is calling you right now, in this very breath, back to believing that the hardest chapters of your life were actually a forge, not a funeral. And what you are feeling, that strange warmth chosen again, there was a word spoken over you, not a hope. A word, spoken in a language angels use, carried by servants who do not forget, written into a ledger that time cannot erase. Heaven had your spouse before your mother had you. And the strange thing, the heartbreaking, beautiful, almost unbearable thing, is that heaven was never punishing you with the loneliness. Heaven was protecting the one being prepared, the younger vessel, the dreamer being matured in another room, in another city, in another ache that looked nothing like yours but carried the exact same weight. Two people, two pyres, two long winters, and one decree.
用故事的作为结尾。
Lewis wrote that there are loves we cannot manufacture, loves that arrive like weather, like grace, like something that simply comes down into us, not because we earned it, because the giver chose us in advance, through the kind of love that does not bargain. That is what is happening here. This is not a person you are going to find. This is a person who has been handed to you, and the age gap? Heaven wrote that too. The very thing the world calls unlikely, they will one night this season call orchestrated. Stay close. What comes next will reopen something in you that you shut down a long time ago. There is a lie, specific, surgical, intimate, that has been circling your life for years. It has different voices, depending on the season. In your 20s, it sounded like you'll meet someone soon. In your 30s, it was, you just have to put yourself out there. In your 40s, it became, maybe God has a different plan for you. And somewhere in the late hours of your 40s, your 50s, maybe even beyond, the lie finally arrived at its mature, fully grown form. It is too late. That is the lie. And it is a lie with teeth. Because every lie the enemy tells is built on half-truths. And yes, time has passed. Yes, your body has changed. Yes, the timeline you imagined has been shattered and rewritten more times than you can count. But the too late part, that was never heaven's voice. That was the enemy's counterfeit of patience. A counterfeit so polished it sounds like wisdom, so well timed it sounds like revelation. But it is not revelation. It is exhaustion, wearing a prophet's robe. God told Isaiah, long before your loneliness started, long before you ever had a season where the chair next to you stayed empty, that his thoughts toward you outnumber the sand on the shore, and they were all finished before one of them began. Not a single promise heaven has made toward your future was thrown together in a rush because you were finally ready. They were all settled in eternity, and they are all still active tonight. Heaven does not run out of love. Heaven does not age out of blessing. And the door the enemy swore was welded shut, it was never even closed, beloved. It was just on a hinge you could not see in the dark. This is why you are here tonight. Heaven is turning your head toward a door that was never locked, and on the other side of it is someone younger, brighter, full of an energy you thought you had disqualified yourself from receiving. But you did not disqualify yourself. You were being prepared to handle what was being prepared on their side. Before we go further, if your spirit is already confirming what is being said, tap subscribe and turn the bell on. You are going to need what comes next. Heaven's messages keep coming on this channel, and I do not want you to miss them. There is a strategy operating against you, and I want to name it precisely so it loses its power. The enemy has studied your timeline. He has catalogued your heartbreak. He knows exactly which kind of person hurts you most, and he has used that knowledge precisely. He has also studied the younger one heaven has been preparing. He has tried to disqualify them too, tempted them early, discouraged them mid-season, convinced them at some point that they would never be enough for someone with your history, your wounds, your standard. 2. Lie campaigns, running parallel, both aimed at one meeting. And that is why this message is so urgent tonight. C.S. Lewis wrote in the Screwtape Letters that the devil's deepest tactic is not to create evil where good reigns, it is to delay good that heaven has already decreed, to make the right thing feel late, to make the ordained moment feel impossible, to whisper never long enough that the heart stops expecting. That is what has been done to you. But the enemy is a liar, and his delays are not his victories, they are his fingerprints. He only touches what heaven is about to unlock. This younger person heaven is sending is not a downgrade. They are not settling. They are not a second best. They are a firstfruits, a unique, unrepeatable answer to a prayer you whispered so long ago you forgot you whispered it. And they are coming. If this ministry has been a source of spiritual strength in your season, you can sow a seed into the work at Ko-Fi. The link is in the description. Every gift keeps these messages reaching the next chosen one who is sitting alone tonight wondering if heaven has forgotten them. Let me take you to Genesis for a moment, because the Bible is not a book of fables, it is a record of patterns, and patterns repeat until a generation recognizes them. Joseph was the youngest of his brothers. He was the dreamer. He saw the future when his own family could not. They hated him for it. They sold him. They thought the dream was buried in a pit, then a caravan, then a prison. He was younger than them. He was carrying something they did not understand. And the same God who gave him the dream kept him alive through every pit, every lie, every false accusation, every single night he slept in chains and woke up faithful. By the time Joseph stood in front of his brothers, the very ones who betrayed him, he was no longer young in spirit. He had been prepared in the furnace. He had been shaped in the waiting. He had been forged into something his betrayal could not undo. That is what is happening on the other side of this promise. The younger one heaven is sending you was never a sign of your decline. They are the sign of your preparation. Heaven does not send an immature heart to a mature soul that would be cruelty, and God is not cruel. Heaven is sending you someone who has already been through their own dark night, someone who carries their own scars. Someone who, like Joseph, has survived what should have killed them and is walking toward you with a kindness that has been hardened into something unbreakable. Their youth is not naivety, it is refined. And the love they are bringing you, this is the part the enemy has tried hardest to blind you to, is not the love the world manufactures. It is not, you're available, I'm available. It is covenant-shaped love. It is older than their years. It is the kind of love that decides before the moods, before the weather, before the seasons to keep going. That is what is being sent, that is what is coming, and the season of preparation is almost finished. I have poured some of the deepest prayer and discernment from this year into a new guide called Heaven Sent, recognizing the spouse God has prepared for you. It was written for chosen ones walking this exact season, people who have been told the door was closed and are about to discover it was never locked. The link is in the description. Get it. It was prepared for this moment. Now, I want to walk into something very gently, because the enemy has used shame around this topic to keep many believers silent. Why younger? Why would heaven send someone younger to love a heart that has weathered what you have weathered? The world will try to tell you that this arrangement is wrong, awkward, questionable. They will project their own wounds onto something heaven has authored. And you, beloved, if you are honest, you have at some point wondered the same thing. Will I be enough? Will they look at my history and run? Will the age gap be a wound they cannot heal? Will their family accept me? Will my own family respect this? These are honest questions, and heaven is not afraid of your honest questions. Here is the truth. Love does not look at difference and cost. Love looks at difference and pros and texture. Something that makes the story real. Something that makes the picture. Something heaven designed. Joseph was 17 when his brothers sold him. He married in a culture that honored covenant more than it honored preference. There was no scandal. There was only placement. Younger in the Bible is not a malfunction. It is a marker. It means this heart has been preserved for later use. It means this one has not yet been worn down by the world's compromise. It means this one is arriving with a kind of fresh-eyed faith that your older, wiser heart was uniquely built to steward. You are not their accident. You are their anointing. Their youth needs your maturity. Their hope needs your testimony. Their first-time love needs a heart that knows how to stay. And heaven, in its infinite, unfailing wisdom, paired you in eternity for this exact exchange. Stay with me. What I am about to reveal next will dissolve something that has been quietly blocking your prayers. This channel exists because people like you need prophetic truth delivered with love. Subscribe so heaven's messages keep reaching you here. And if this is ringing in your bones right now, the next chapter is going to feel like it was written specifically for the season you are walking through. There was a season, maybe more than one, when you pleaded with God for a different kind of life. The diagnosis, the betrayal, the years of being overlooked, the friendships that walked out at the worst possible time, the financial collapse, the grief no one knew how to sit with. Each one of those seasons took something from you, and you have been quietly carrying a story that says, I am lesser now. I have lost too much. Who would want the version of me that came out the other side? Beloved, hear me clearly. What came out the other side of you is not lesser, it is more. See, S. Lewis wrote that God wastes nothing, not one tear, not one sleepless night, not one closed door in the making of a soul fit to love and be loved deeply. Your pain was not your punishment. Your pain was your apprenticeship. Heaven was training you for the kind of love that does not run when the weather changes, the kind of love that holds a hand through a hospital hallway, the kind of love that has already done the work of grief and emerged steady. The younger heart being sent to you is not coming to fix you, they are coming to match you. You will walk into their life, and they will feel something they have never felt before, the safety of a soul that has already done its dark night. They will not have to explain maturity to you. You will model it. That is part of your assignment. That is part of the exchange. The enemy's mantra over your life in this season has been, who would want you now? Heaven's answer is thundering tonight, the exact one I have been preparing. If your spirit just came alive in this place, comment below. I am not lesser, I am more. Let your agreement tonight be louder than every lie that has tried to bury you. Now, I want to speak very carefully here, because this is a sacred place. Before the younger one arrives, and they are arriving, do not let a single demon convince you otherwise. There are a few things heaven is asking you to lay down, not because you have done anything wrong, because the vessel has to be empty before it can be filled. The first thing, the bitterness. Not toward any one person, toward the process, toward the years, toward the prayers that felt unanswered, toward the asphalt of your own waiting. Bitterness, even holy-sounding bitterness, is a poison that does not harm the one who hurt you. It only harms the one trying to love you now. let it go. Tonight, if you have to. Tomorrow, if you have to. But let it go. The second thing, the comparison. You have scrolled through engagement announcements and felt the cold hand of comparison tighten around your chest. You have watched younger couples begin lives you thought were promised to you. You have measured your timeline against theirs and felt behind. Beloved, you are not behind. You are before. You are in the carefully engineered pre-stage of a love the world has not even seen yet. Comparison is a thief and a liar. Release the photo album of their timelines. Heaven has a different album for you. The third thing, the suspicion. Because of the way you have been hurt, you will be tempted almost from day one to test the younger one, to look for the trap, to scan for the old betrayer's face in a brand new heart. This is not wisdom. This is trauma running the show. The most dangerous kind of suspicion is not the kind that sees evil where there is none. It is the kind that creates evil in a good heart by treating it as guilty until proven innocent. Do not punish a clean heart for a dirty past. Release the suspicion, not blindly, discerningly, but release it. The fourth thing, the shame. You carry shame about your singleness, about your season, about your age, about the unspoken assumption that something must be wrong with you for this to have taken so long. There is nothing wrong with you, beloved. God does not delay love to punish. He delays love to perfect. And perfection does not look like the world's calendar. It looks like His. Lay all four of these down tonight. They are heavy, and they do not fit in the next chapter of your life. Everything I cannot say in one video, I wrote down. The ebook below, Heaven Sent, recognizing the spouse God has prepared for you, walks through each of these four releases with prayer and practical breakthrough. If this message is for you, that book definitely is too. Link in the description. Now listen carefully, because what I am about to say might save you from a season of unnecessary pain. When the younger one arrives, and they will arrive, on God's timing, not yours, there will be a discernment test, and it will not look like the ones the enemy used in your past. It will look like joy. It will look like laughter in unexpected places. It will look like someone looking at you with a kind of wonder you have not seen directed at you in years. It will look like a peace that has no logical explanation. It will look like overlapping callings, like a vocabulary of the Spirit that fits together too perfectly to be coincidence. And the test will not be whether they are good. The test will be whether you will let them be. Because your wound will whisper, "This is too good. Something is underneath. Better slow down. Better protect yourself. Better build the wall faster." That whisper is the enemy. He is trying to reenact his old trick in a brand new story. C.S. Lewis saw this clearly. He wrote that the mark of a soul that has been deeply loved is that it has lost the ability to distrust in a graceless, paranoid way. That is what you are being invited into. A love that you do not have to manage. A love you can simply receive. This is not a person to solve. This is a person to marry. And if you can receive them without your wound running the interview, they will be the spouse of your old age and the laughter of your middle years and the gentle companion of every valley ahead. Stay with me. The chapter coming is where heaven begins to seal the promise. If your spirit just lit up on any of this, type in the comments, "The one I am praying for is already on their way." Let your agreement tonight announce what heaven has already declared. Let me tell you what happened in the spirit before this moment ever arrived. There was a wedding in the unseen, a covenant, two names that have been spoken together over and over in a language only heaven knows, a venue being prepared, a table being set, a song being tuned. And the enemy saw it. He saw the math, the age, the distance, the impossible odds. He saw your weakness, their youth, the world's doubt, the family's skepticism, your own quiet fears. And he thought, this will never happen. So he launched delay, launched distraction, launched counterfeit proposals that drained years, launched sicknesses in seasons that should have been courtship. Launched loneliness so heavy that you stopped believing love had a voice. All of it, was a campaign against an event he foresaw and could not prevent. Hear this, he foresaw it. If the enemy is fighting this hard, then this marriage is already real in the heavens. That is how the kingdom operates. By the time the enemy fights, the thing is already done. He struggles over outcomes that have been signed. He postpones blessings whose arrival is already written into the original decree. You are not hoping for something that may happen. You are remembering something that already is. And when the younger one walks into your life, and you will know them when the moment comes, because the Spirit in you will recognize the Spirit in them instantly, like a name you have been calling in your sleep, every lie the enemy ever told you about, being too late, too damaged, too old, too tired, too anything will collapse. Because David in the Psalms called it, right weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Morning is closer than you think, beloved. Morning is here. If these words are ringing with truth in you tonight, your next level of discernment is waiting in the guide below. Heaven sent, recognizing the spouse God has prepared for you, goes deep into how to recognize the arrival and how to walk through the first year with your spirit intact. I priced it to be accessible because I want it in your hands, not on a shelf. Link in the description. I want to speak over you for a moment, not at you, not toward you, but over you, like a priest, like a friend, like somebody who has believed this on your behalf for years. Heaven is sealing. Heaven is sealing the younger one's heart to yours. Heaven is sealing your wounds closed. Heaven is sealing the lies shut that have haunted your mornings. Heaven is sealing the path that brings them to your door. Heaven is sealing your willingness to be loved without suspicion. Heaven is sealing your laughter, your real, deep, unforced laughter back into your bones. And the enemy is losing tonight. He is losing because every breath you have taken since this message began has been a step he did not want you to take. You took the step, and now the seal is set. C.S. Lewis said, near the end of his life, that there are places in this world and the next where the chapters that look like endings are actually introductions. This season has looked like an ending, beloved. It is about to be revealed as the longest introduction any heart could wait through. You waited, heaven honored. Get ready. If this message landed where your spirit has been bruised for years, subscribe and turn on the notifications. Heaven has more. And the next message dropping on this channel was prepared in prayer specifically for the people who received this one. You are not done here. Heaven is not done with you. And the next message may be the one that names the exact season this promise arrives. Now I want to pray for you. Not a polite prayer, a warlike prayer, a prayer that moves things. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bring before you every chosen one who is hearing this tonight with a hope they have been afraid to confess. I pray over the long wait. Heal every scar it left. Where the enemy planted too late, I declare in time. Where he planted too old, I declare royal and refined. Where he planted no one will want you, I declare the younger one heaven prepared is already on their way, already being drawn, already feeling a longing they cannot name toward a face they have not yet seen. Lord, release the bitterness, release the suspicion, release the shame, release the comparison. Let your people run free into the next chapter of love without dragging the chains of the last one. I pray protection over the younger vessel you are sending. Guard their preparation, accelerate their healing, keep them pure, keep them faithful, keep them yours. And I pray over the listener tonight, open their eyes to recognize the moment when it arrives. Sharpen their discernment, but soften their grip. Let them be the kind of love that the younger vessel has been praying for in their own hidden room. Bind every spirit of delay, every spirit of counterfeit, every spirit of false comfort, keeping them from receiving what you have already prepared. Sow my agreement tonight, Lord, with every decree you have already settled over them in eternity. I seal this in the name above every name, Jesus Christ, the lover of mankind, the one who wastes nothing, who delays nothing without reason, who makes the broken places the very architecture of the coming glory. Amen. Beloved, the seal is set. You are not late, you are right on time. The one you have been praying for is right on time too. And heaven is not finished smiling over you. If God has used this message to shift something in you tonight, I would be honored if you would consider sowing a seed at Ko-fi. The link is in the description. What you invest in this ministry tends to multiply in ways you will one day see standing in front of you. Every gift becomes a means of delivering this kind of prophetic truth to the next person sitting alone at 2 and wondering if heaven has forgotten them. You become the answer to someone else's prayer. If this sealed something in you tonight, type "It is done" in the comments. Let your agreement be the closest sound to heaven's voice you have ever made. I love you. Heaven loves you more. And the younger one is on their way. If this prophetic word has reached into the cave of your waiting, comment "It is done" below. Let heaven hear your agreement tonight. If God has stirred you to keep these messages reaching other chosen ones still sitting alone at 2 am, sow a seed at Ko-fi. The link is in the description, and what you give in this season will follow you for the rest of your life.